Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special session of the Research Cafe, which is a project of the Research Admission Platform. And today I'm your host, Dr. 𝐂𝐸𝐞𝐚 here. I welcome you all for this live streaming platform. Today, our title is really very interesting. We'll be going through a various verses of in the previous session we have seen that we have discussed how a person has to do a PhD and how he has to prepare. But in this session, we mainly focus on the women or the female students, because I know that there are a lot of undergraduate students who are female and want to do their higher studies. So they might feel some of the obstacles which they need to overcome, and to that how they can do that, we have some of our expertise here today to share their experience here. But before going to the main discussion, I would like to say a few words regarding the Research Cafe. Research Cafe is totally a non-profitable project for research admission platform. Here, we bring the students who are keen to learn about the research techniques, and with the mentors who are already experienced, and they will learn the key aspects that how they will go for their higher research projects. So we say that this is without further delay, I will go straight to the topic and introduce our main special guest speaker here today. So first, I would like to introduce our first guest, Dr. Tania S. Khalek.
Hello.
So she is the professor at Department of Applied Mathematics in University of Dhaka, Bangladesh. And then our second guest is Dr. Nadra Tabassum.
Hi.
So she's Dr. Nadra Tabassum, and she's assistant professor in Botany Department of Dhaka University, and she completed her PhD from Edinburgh University. So sorry, I forgot to mention that Dr. Tania completed her PhD from Oxford University, and our last guest is Dr. Nazia Rifat Zaman, who completed her PhD from Bangladesh and also like a faculty member of Bangladesh Maritime University. So I welcome you all to this special episode, and thank you for joining us. Without further ado, I will go to our first speaker, Dr. Nazia Rifat, to talk about your background, what is your background before going for the PhD, and how was your PhD study, and how long it takes. Just briefly, can you just tell us about it?
I'm Dr. Nazia Rifat Zaman, Assistant Professor, Genetic Engineering and Marine Biotechnology Department of Maritime University, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Maritime University. I completed my PhD honors and masters from University of Dhaka, the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. So my background is in molecular biology, biotechnology, and biochemistry related and microbiology field. Thank you.
So currently you are doing completed your PhD, like how long it took, from
I have
which lab?
completed my PhD in 2019. It took 3 years, 8 months, almost 4 years to complete my PhD in Dhaka University in molecular biology lab in Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology.
So Dr. Nazia, I will come back to you with our further inquiries. Then I will move to Dr. Nadra Tabassum. Dr. Nadra, can you tell us about your background of studies and what you are currently doing now?
Thank you, Shaila, for having me here today. So now I'm working as an assistant professor at Department of Botany, University of Dhaka. I have just completed my PhD. Is very recently I have just completed, and it was from University of Edinburgh. I did my PhD in molecular plant sciences, and before that I did another second master's. I did two masters. So other master's was from Imperial College London, and now I am working at the Department of Botany. So I'm a botanist. Thank you.
That's good to know. So Apu, you told me that you did a master's abroad as well. So you had a previous master's from Bangladesh as well? or you
Yes.
just had it?
So after
So
doing my undergrad at the Department of Botany, while I was doing my master's, at that time I applied for Commonwealth scholarship, and immediately after completing my master's at Department of Botany, I did another master's at Imperial College London. So that was like
that's good.
quite before, long before. Yeah,
Okay.
and
So Dr.
for my yeah, you can
I will
conclude.
come
Sorry.
back to you later on. And next, Dr. Tania S. Khalid, if you tell us about your background as well.
Thank you, Shala, for inviting me here. Well, I completed my honors, it is bachelor's and master's from the Department of Mathematics, University of Dhaka. And then I joined the department, that means the Department of Mathematics in 2010. Then after a year, into October 2011, I went to Oxford to pursue my doctoral studies. So it took me 4 years to complete my DPhil. I was there under a scholarship. Its name was Felix Scholarship. So I came back to Bangladesh in 2015, and then I joined the university. Then in December 2015, I transferred to Department of Applied Mathematics, and still there. I'm still there working, and very recently I've been promoted to professor position. So that's very in brief my educational background and my work experience, I guess. That's it.
A successful career. I think we got the outline of the successful career.
No,
That's great.
there
Well,
is no word like successful career, just but we are going. So we are facing everyday challenges, and just we are fighters, I think.
yeah, we
That's
are fighters. Like I think the very thing common is today is like the three of you and including me as well. Like we are all like public, like academic in academy in Bangladesh. Like so it's like and we are like all women and everything. So probably there were some question arises from students who really wanted to know very specific question regarding. I think they came from mostly from the female students. They wanted to know that how they can overcome those obstacles that those they are facing. So this is why this session is. So let's end our first session here and go to our next session, which is the question answering session. For question answering, I would like to first invite Dr. Natra Tabassum to say something about their like two questions for you. One is what inspired you to pursue a PhD, and what challenges did you face as a woman entering your career? And the second question is, can you share some personal strategies you have employed to navigate the unique dynamics and expectations within a PhD program as a woman?
Thank you, Shala, for this interesting questions. So, I think it's very common to ask about what inspired you to do a PhD whenever you talk with a doctor or a PhD holder. So, my story is quite interesting in terms of that it was not a very initially it was not a grand passion to have a PhD. More, it was like a fascination, more like an emotional thing, because I wanted to get admitted in medical school. So, which was I failed to get admitted in a medical school. That actually lit fire inside me to do something big in terms of like my career. So when I get admitted at University of Dhaka Department of Botany, at that time I didn't had any idea where I was headed, but all I knew that I wanted to do a PhD. So it get more ignited, I will say, like when I started my master's at Department of Botany in plant biotechnology laboratory, and later on I did my second master's at Imperial College London. That is the time I actually knew I wanted to do a PhD, and I knew my passion, and I knew that I'm quite keen to do research. So that time I started to look for the PhD positions and PhD offers, though it took a while to get into a PhD. But eventually, when after completing my second master's, I started my career as a lecturer at the Department of Botany. So, I will answer simultaneously with this journey. Like as a woman or as a female student, we always have some uh, extra challenges or unique challenges that put us like more pressure than I will say than boys or the male uh, colleagues or students. We we always are in a ticking clock, which is rushing us to do certain things within a certain age. So that always pushing you to complete your study, get married, having kids, and climb the career ladder, and all these need to be attained when keeping your sanity intact, which is really tough, like juggling between your personal life and your professional aspirations is really tough. So these actually quite difficult for women or female students to balancing between the personal life and professional demands or professional aspirations. But I would say I really have a very amazing family support. I know which might not for everyone, but having that doesn't mean that I didn't go through that or I didn't went through that pressures. I also face all these pressures, which also keep me waking up nights to worry about different stuffs. But at the end, when you know what is how to prioritize your focus, I would say having the courage and your determination and the passion that what you want to do, that will keep you going or that will make you afloat among others to attain what you wanted to do. So that was a unique strategy or being focused for your dream and trying to keep continuing what you want to do. That actually make you attain your goal, or I will say that will make you successful in terms.
Yeah, so that's actually great. So what you said, what I mainly picked up, like, yeah, I have to have passion for what I will be doing, and like, I have to be very, very determined. Otherwise, it will be a very difficult journey. But if we are
Exactly.
like, you are determined then, and you have passion for what you're doing, then you'll be able to see the finish line, I guess. So because like, where there is passion and like, determination, I think the final destination is the success as well.
Exactly.
So thank you so much, Dr. Nadra. And next I will move to Dr. Nazia Rifat. I have two questions for you. So one is, could you discuss any instances where you felt your gender impacted your academic journey positively or negatively, and how you manage those situations? And next question, actually, this is the most asked question in our poll. Balancing academic demands with personal life can be challenging. So, what advice do you have for maintaining work-life balance, particularly for women pursuing a PhD?
Well, to start off, I would consider myself very lucky that I didn't face any gender discrimination in studies or in career something. But one thing I can say that I always had a dream. I always wanted to go abroad to pursue my PhD and everything. Like every students have this dream or something. But since I get married in comparatively younger age, when the time has come for my PhD, I already have two kids, and so I didn't fully left my dream or something. I changed the path or changed the direction and started my PhD in Dhaka University in my department, biochemistry and molecular biology. And I don't regret it at all. But sometimes I think, though these decision didn't enforced on me, but sometimes I think, would it be a little easier if I was a man or something? Maybe it would be easier to pursue my dream of going abroad and have my PhD in USA or Japan, because most of my classmates went there for their PhD and something. So this I can say it's something related to gender discrimination or something, but it is not. It is totally my choice. I prioritize my family. and career both equally? So this is the this can be the answer of my first question. And the second one, the most asked one, um, I would like to say that I always wanted to prioritize my family and career equally and never put one over another. But learning to make this balance somewhat challenging every time, for every woman. Making this balance is always challenging. And but there is a common misconception that women cannot pursue both equally and successfully and everything. But I can say that women, I believe women have some supernatural power inbuilt on them to perceive anything anyhow. They can managing the lab works and PhD studies and taking care of their families simultaneously. So, and one more thing I must say, we women, especially women, needs a strong support system. I was very lucky few that I don't only have my very supportive parents, but also with my husband and my in-laws. I can say that one time during my PhD, I have to live in India for 6 months, living home my kids. But I feel very reassured knowing that an amazing family members are taking care of them. So it was a big support for me. So every woman should have, but every family, I should say, every family should be very loving, considerate, understanding to help each woman to make their dream to reality. So this is the thing. Women are very powerful. Every woman is a superwoman, and they need a strong support system to make balance between the career and the family. Thank you.
I agree with you. Like, and interestingly, I have seen you through, like, when you started your PhD, I was in the same lab. So I have
Right.
seen you there. And when Nadra Apu was doing her PhD, her kid was like, was in Bangladesh. So
Yeah.
like, I know that her husband used to take the baby to her, and I used to see the picture, and she was so emotional and everything. So it was like, I think that was the thing, that a family support and everything is very, very important as well. They cannot stand alone. Okay, so for this, I will go to our last speaker, Dr. Tania. So, Apo, I have like two questions for you. One is, in your experience, what are some common misconceptions or stereotypes about women in academia, particularly in PhD program, and how do you address them? And the second one is, as you reflect on your PhD journey, what key lessons or piece of advice would you offer to aspiring female scholars embarking on their own academic path?
Yeah, thank you, Shala, for your interesting questions. Um, your first question was on something like about whether there is any stereotypes or misconception about female in academia, especially in PhD program. But I didn't feel, or I don't feel that there are many misconceptions or stereotypes for about women in academia. I mean, people usually take women in academia very positively. But the thing is, when we are considering female faculties in universities, I mean, in higher educational system or institutions, there the females, I mean, in academia, I mean, in universities, a female faculty must have a PhD. Without a PhD in universities, you can't progress actually. Every person has their dream, or they want to do better in their career. And in universities or in academia, your career is not only about teaching, it's about teaching and research. And to flourish yourself and to have a better identity, you need to have a research field, research interest. And to get the required experience in research, a PhD is a must. Now, the thing is, since the scope of higher education, that means PhD scholarships or opportunities are quite limited in Bangladesh. So here we see that most of the faculties go abroad for their higher studies. I mean, 80% people actually go abroad. And so when females start their career in academia, they after a time they feel like yes, a PhD is a necessity. But at the time there are so many challenges to face or so many challenges to overcome. Like uh, already Dr. Nazia and Dr. Nadra um, have explained, like at the time you have your own family life, you have your children, so balancing your job, then family life, kids, and then pursue a higher degree abroad, it is very, very difficult. So that's why at the time, usually female in academia, they actually get very strong mm, laid back or they lag behind somehow. So I think so if women want to come in academia, they should be prepared for a higher education. I mean, that means for a PhD. If they are quite clear or if they have their fixed destination, like a PhD is a must for our career in academia, then they would find a way. I mean, a lot of female students are pursuing their PhDs nowadays. So it is not impossible, but it is very, very challenging and difficult. They have to face so many problems or so many challenges they have to mm, take those or confront them. So that's the part. So there is, I won't say that there is any misconception or stereotypes. I mean, people uh, accept women in PhD programs. I didn't face any type of gender discrimination either in abroad. So also in my workplace, I feel it's quite balanced. So I don't feel any type of discrimination. But females should be prepared that if they want to pursue their career in academia, they have to go for some extra effort. They have to go for some extra effort. That's the thing. And and your second question, where you have asked that what are the key lessons or advices? Well, first of all, you have to be passionate about your subject and research. If you are passionate about your subject and also you enjoy research work, then PhD is fine for you. But if you have some kind of doubts about your subject topic or you don't enjoy research, then PhD is not a very enjoyable time because it's a journey of 4 to 5 years. And in that journey, you will face hard times, good times. In the hard times, the motivation is the most important thing that will keep you going. So you have to be passionate. And but other than that, there are so many things you can learn in a PhD journey. Actually, it makes you a different person. When you come across with your, when you exchange your views with your supervisor, also your fellow PhD students, you learn so many things. Actually, after the PhD, your total outlook will be changed. You will not only get a degree, actually you will become quite a different person. I mean, you will learn how to think out of the box. I mean, in our school, college, or university, we have so many lectures or professors who teach us
Sorry, I think we lost connection with
I
Dr.
think both.
Tanya Nazia. Sorry for the network issue. I think we lost connection with them due to the network issues. So what, like, it was like quite, I mean, from all of your answers, I have gathered this, that if you have passion and like if you want to build a career, yeah, you need a strong determination, as well as if you have like family support, that's also good. But as well as you have to be very sure that what you want to do. And like not only academia, I think, okay, four of us are from academia, so probably we can say about it much more precisely that you must need a PhD. But other than academia, in industrial, other than the different biotechnology plant and the other course, they also prefer the PhD for their more like.
Sorry, I'm back. Okay,
Oh,
sorry, somehow just went disconnected. Anyway, please carry on.
so like so I was talking about that. I was like trying to make a conclusion of today's like total conversation that for the women or for the female students, if they have the passion to do the research or do have to come to the academia, then they need to think about it. And they need to think now that what they are passionate about, and then they can start for their higher studies and obviously for the PhD. And we can see that how I know that each of you have like family and in Bangladesh, I know most of the girls are not allowed to do their PhD because they're married. But I know here I have one of like Dr. Tania. She actually like completed her. Hello, sorry, lost. Sorry, am I back?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So, like, I know that she completed her PhD first, then came back to Bangladesh, then got married. She has a lovely boy. So, like, and everything, managing everything. And Nadrapu, she went there, and her kid was in Bangladesh. Her husband was so supportive. I saw Naziapu as well. So, it was like, all big, how you know that if you're passionate about something, determined about something, you gather all the help you can get, and then you can, like, go forward. So, thank you, all of you, for joining us. And like it was a very lovely conversation with all of you. It was very very nice to meet you all. Like, and I think that we have like several other questions, but due to the time conservation, we couldn't bring all of them up. But I think in further or next session, we will invite you to answer all the other questions as well that we have in the list in our upcoming list. So definitely, that's I would like we're very grateful that you could join us and you could guide the students that who are willing to pursue their higher studies in research area or any area and can be improve them. The one thing that Dr. Tanya said that the PhD never change people, and the another in our previous session, we were actually, Dr. Kondri said that actually PhD makes us strong. Like it breaks us in between several pieces, but at the end, it makes us strong. It never with more knowledge and everything. Okay, so there are other statement and everything. So I thank you all again. And then I can if you have any ending statement you want to say, if you want to say anything, because I think we have 30 seconds left. Or you can leave, I think, yes.
Okay, thanks, Shala, for inviting us or inviting me. It's quite a very interesting discussion. And I mean, this type of discussion actually, I guess, helps our female students to get encouraged. I hope that they will be benefited. Thank you, Shala, again.
Thank you so much, Shaila, for having me here today and giving me the chance to share my experiences. Hope to meet you all again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a nice experience and a new one. Thank you.
Thank you all. So here I am today signing off from Research Cafe, but stay tuned to having more information, having more experience, and your question answered in Research Cafe. So we'll meet again. I hope so.